From Harvest Public Media and KCUR Studios, you're listening to Up From Dust. I'm Celia Llopis-Jepsen. Last month, we heard one woman's story about living with a very serious fear of spiders. It was messing with her life, stressing her out while she was working at her native plant nursery or hiking through the woods. So she found a way to tackle it. And today, we are getting into the nitty-gritty of all of this with a couple psychologists. They have tips for how you, too, can work on overcoming your critter aversions or fears so that you can enjoy more of this beautiful outdoor world. Joining me this episode is Up From Dust editor Mackenzie Martin.
Hey, Celia.
Hey, Mackenzie. Okay, do you remember Trevor Starks? He was actually from one of our earlier episodes.
Was he the one that was on a quest for a very specific yet rare kind of mussel?
Yes, exactly. So I actually circled back to him because I knew that he has a neat story.
Oh, cool.
So one day, Trevor gets home from his new job as a wildlife biologist. This is over in Pratt, Kansas, a few years ago. And he just dumps all these field guides that he got at work.
When you first start working for the department, they give you the whole stack.
Like, leaves them on a table. And his kids grab them and start rifling through them. And there's like a guide to Kansas birds and one for Kansas snakes and a wildflower guide. And the kids just like set all those aside.
And the kids were like, spider book. They were all about the spider book.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that.
To be honest, he was not either. They started making him read this spider field guide at night.
Like a bedtime story?
Exactly like a bedtime story. And the funny thing is, it's got all this technical jargon, but they love it. Some days, Trevor pulls up a YouTube channel for them that's got like all these wildlife videos.
When we go through the videos, I'm like, oh, he's got a snake video. Oh, here's a bobcat video. They're like, no. Oh, Black Widow hunting a grasshopper. We've watched that a million times.
I'm having a really hard time even fathoming this.
I know. Okay, so I decided to ask them about it.
Hi.
Dane, how old are you?
6.
Callan, how old are you?
Well, spiders are cool because they eat the bad bugs and stuff.
So that's Dane, the 6-year-old.
I see spiders outside like jumping spiders and Carolina wolf spiders.
I can't believe he knows the species.
So does his little brother Callan, the 4-year-old.
What's the best spider?
The Carolina wolf spider.
So we caught some of those last year, and they were kind of a big hit because they were pretty big.
I don't even know if I want to ask this question, but how big are these spiders?
So I actually got a copy of the very same field guide that Dane and Callan consider bedtime reading.
Of course you did.
The body is about an inch long. With the legs, it's a few more inches toe to toe. So, this is a nice sized spider for kids who want to get a good look at it. It's a species that sits in a burrow all day and then hunts at night.
Do they run around on the ground?
They do, but it's like a egg case where they put their eggs in and then their babies hatch.
And then what do the babies do?
Their mama carries them around on their back.
Wow.
What about the red jumping spider with the red butt?
A jumping spider?
Yeah, they're very cute. For a lot of people, jumping spiders are like the entry to appreciating spiders. They're like 8-legged teddy bears with great big eyes. Dane and Callan also like this video of a spider perched on a flower of the same color.
And their food doesn't even know that they're there.
Because they blend into the flower.
Yeah.
Did you see the spider get any food?
I think it got a butterfly.
Did you think that was cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think it was cool, Callan? No.
Is Trevor also into spiders like his kids?
Actually, Trevor has been very averse to spiders a lot of his life. And he's made peace with them over time, but it came as a surprise to him that his kids are like so into spiders.
And I've never said, oh, that's gross. Oh, that's scary.
I guess that makes sense because it is the people around us and society that somewhat teach us what to be afraid of.
Yeah, definitely to some extent. And Trevor actually thinks that he probably like learned to fear spiders when he was a kid just from like seeing adults around him scared of them. So, Mac, I'm curious, how scared are you of outdoor critters?
I would say I manage, but it is my least favorite part of the outdoors. I
Okay.
feel like bugs are always flying into my eyes. I usually am the person who walks in the back on hikes so that I can avoid walking into spider webs. I aggressively look for snakes in every canoe I get into. I learned that lesson the hard way.
Oh, no. I think that's really relatable.
I think that's actually one of my biggest takeaways since we published the episode last month, in that, like, there are a ton of other people that are also in this camp. In fact, KCUR Studios intern Seth Jahraus spoke to members of this online Facebook group called the Kansas Herpetological Society. I know you're familiar with them, Celia. Yep. So basically reptile lovers, but unlike most people in that Facebook group, the people he interviewed joined the page because they were afraid of snakes, and they're trying to learn how not to be. One of those people is Charlotte French Allen. She lives in Rossville, Kansas, and it's the slithering that gets to her.
Their movement is so different. I think, I don't know, your brain just doesn't know what to do with that. Or mine is just kind of like, ah!
Then there's Justin Hale in Lawrence. His dad is terrified of snakes, so he was too.
I remember we would be driving down the road, and he'd see a rattlesnake crossing the road, and he would stop the car, go to the trunk, pull out a jack handle, and go after that snake.
Oh, poor snake. That's not fun.
I know. But later, as an adult, Justin also started killing snakes.
And I had one that I killed with a shotgun, and the more I thought about it in retrospect, it bothered me. I just seemed scared and not aggressive or anything. It kind of changed my mentality. It bothered me enough that I decided to actually start educating myself on what snakes are in Kansas.
Now Justin can look at a snake and know if it's venomous or not. He's also comfortable relocating a snake if he needs to. And Charlotte says the Facebook group helps her because she sees all these people identifying snakes in the wild and not being scared.
I think we're born with fear of these animals, but with work can reason our way to comfort.
Exactly. We can definitely ease our fears in a bunch of ways. And that is what I talked to psychologists about, including Kavita Tahilani.
I am a psychologist and the clinical director at the Mood Partial Hospitalization Program at CHOP.
CHOP is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, but she's going to give us tips that are good for adults too. Okay, so her first tip.
The self-soothing coping skills can be really helpful.
She says in that moment when you see whatever critter you were really hoping not to see, your body is on high alert. It's stressed out and you want to calm it down. So deep breathing is a common step you can take, and all sorts of mindfulness activities. She's a fan of one called 5-4-3-2-1.
Someone will, just to themselves or out loud, name 5 things they see, 4 things they hear, 3 things they smell, 2 things they touch, and 1 thing they taste. And it allows them to kind of like reconnect with their environment using their senses, which pulls sort of their attention away from the anxiety experience and can be very grounding for people.
Something tactile can help too, she says, like literally stop and put some lotion on your hands while you calm down.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit of like aromatherapy.
And here's a second tip. Prep before this situation even arises.
If you know, like you're about to go into the garden, sometimes having like a cope ahead plan can be really helpful. So before I go out into the garden, I'm going to make sure I'm in a good headspace and I'm going to, try and kind of put myself in like a calm place beforehand.
Plus, you can make a plan for if you do see the critter. Like maybe your plan is that your partner is going to come move the snake out of the garden.
Or saying, if I see this critter, I'm going to just stand up and I'm going to take a 2-minute break and then I'm going to come back and resume.
So Tracy, the star of last month's episode on arachnophobia, she's got a cool trick that she learned from a therapist. Do you remember that?
Was it singing?
Yes, it was singing. She said that really helps when she suddenly finds herself stuck near a spider.
Okay, so takeaway 1, figure out coping mechanisms that work for you and make contingency plans for dealing with a dreaded situation. Got it. Then again, what if DIY tricks aren't working? Is that a situation where you might turn to therapy?
It is, and it turns out that therapy is really effective for phobias.
What most people don't know is this is one of arguably the easiest things to treat in our field.
All right, Mac. Tom Davis is going to help us understand therapy for phobias.
Okay.
I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I am also a psychology professor and head of the Department of Psychology at the University of Alabama.
He says for a lot of people, it doesn't actually even take that much therapy and they'll start feeling a lot less scared. Depends on where you go, but like some places will schedule you for one session a week and then you can go for some weeks or some months, depending on your situation or your schedule. But he actually specializes even in 1-day treatment.
Seriously?
Most people, many people, we can help in as little as 3 hours. 3 hours later, they're able to interact with or do the things they were afraid of before.
3 hours is wild.
Yeah, it's really not much. And then you can keep practicing what you learned at home and getting better.
So what exactly is it like to go to therapy for a phobia like this?
Okay, well, the kind that is like the most well-researched and shown to work is basically like cognitive behavioral therapy. And both Tom Davis and Kavita Tahilani, who you heard earlier, are experts in this stuff. And for phobias, what they do is called exposure, which honestly makes me picture like Indiana Jones in a pit of snakes. I don't know why.
This is exactly what I pictured too.
I know. Okay. But we're mentioning this because I want to point out that this is not what we're talking about.
Good.
Mental health workers know that people get nervous when they hear the words exposure therapy. But no, we're not talking about some kind of confront your ultimate fear vibe.
I'm going to date myself now, but it used to be for a while their fear factor, right? There's no coffin of worms in my office. That's not helpful, right? That's not even therapeutic, or that's entertainment, that's TV.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's a good idea to scare people into not being scared.
It's an awful idea. It would not work. The whole point is tuning down that fear factor, not amping it up.
What we're trying to do is retrain our body's alarm system, which has, for whatever reason, gotten triggered by something that in the moment actually isn't a threat to us, but our body's reacting as if it is.
So the patient is in control. If spiders are the thing that's scary, then you are writing out a list together of gradual steps and how stressful you think each step will be.
Looking at a picture of a spider, watching a video of a spider, imagining being in the same room as a spider, being in the same room as a spider, but 20 feet away.
So it's all planned out. And you just do a single step on that list over and over before even reaching the next one. And your alarm system just calms down.
I had a supervisor once say, you do it until it's boring. So until you play the video and they're like, okay, whatever, I'm sick of this. Then you're like, okay, now we can move on.
So the key word there really is boring.
I know I'm doing this right if you're bored.
And also part of the process is you're learning, what is your body doing?
Our hearts are pounding. We're breathing a certain way.
You're learning awareness of that and of your thoughts.
This spider, is it awful? Is it evil? It's going to get me. They're scary. They're mean. Versus, okay, well, it's over there. I don't even think it's noticed me.
And of course, you're learning coping skills, right? So the mindfulness we mentioned, and maybe you don't even really know very much about, say, bats. And what you know about them isn't actually true. Well, then therapy for fear of bats would probably involve learning what is true. The key point is in therapy, you're in control and you're working at your pace.
A safe, constructive, gradual situation where you can learn the sensations your body are giving you are not as awful as maybe you thought. Where you can learn and test out the thoughts that I'm having about how bad this is or how scary this may be.
Oh, and because Tom Davis works at a university, he did also offer this nice tip. If you're near a university, you can check out the med school or the psych department, because often they'll have a training clinic And that can be a lot more affordable because you're getting therapy from a doctoral student who's working closely then with the professors.
That's a good tip. Okay, so takeaway 2 is that therapy is a good option. But I am also curious, does that also work for kids?
Yeah, so both Davis and Tahalani are experts at working with kids. So let's start with that moment when your kid sees a bee in the garden and is scared.
A common thing that parents might want to say is, don't worry, there's nothing to be scared of, right?
So maybe you can see, oh, that bee is just gathering pollen. It's like not a threat. And so you're like, hey, there's nothing to be scared of. The thing is, if your kid is really scared in that moment, then that kind of reasoning isn't going to work.
Their alarm system has already been activated, right? And so when that's happening and you're sort of flooded with that emotion, the logic and the reasoning are not going through.
You'll need to help them calm down.
So validating emotions can be really helpful depending on the age of the child, labeling their emotions for them. It seems like you're really scared right now, those kinds of things. So being able to help them identify what they're feeling.
And then asking them, even to tell you, what is scaring you and what are they worried that is going to happen? Let them express themselves and then try some calming techniques, maybe some deep breaths. And if your kid's not actually that scared, you might be able to go straight into kind of a teachable moment.
Let's maybe take a couple of steps back and let's look. Do we see more bees out here? Do we see them near the flowers? What are they doing? Let's talk about them some. Let's look at it. Let's experience the situation a little more. You get to talk about all the wonderful things like how flowers get pollinated, how we get honey.
So you're giving your child some positive things to associate that bee with. At the same time, it's important not to brush off the full truth about whether an animal can hurt us.
Of course, yeah.
It is really important to be realistic with kids.
So be real about the fact that, yes, a bee can sting, but, you're also helping them gauge the risk. A bee that's just gathering pollen, it doesn't care about you, but you don't want to reach out and grab that bee, and you don't want to go mess with that bee's nest.
We just want them to understand, the chances of something happening is probably maybe not as great as their worried brain is kind of telling them in that moment.
Honestly, it sounds like you're supposed to help kids work through fear the way that I would want someone to help me as an adult.
Yeah, and so being honest, and also try not to just keep adjusting things so that your kid never encounters the thing that upsets them. Tom Davis gave an example. Imagine your kid is scared of dogs.
Grandma has a dog. Okay, is she going to put it up? And then suddenly putting it up is not enough anymore. Can the dog be put outside the whole home? And then eventually it's I don't even want to go see grandma because she has a dog.
So it's better to address the issue, even if it means starting by watching dogs from afar.
It can be from a good distance. It's just avoiding that accommodation, avoiding that backing away, because it just gets worse and worse.
Okay, so takeaway 3 is we can help kids with their fears, but maybe that means taking it slow.
Yes, nice and slow. And if a phobia isn't going away and it is interfering with your kid's life, then therapy is really effective for kids too. And I really want to emphasize that here for people of all ages.
I think sometimes people might feel silly of oh, it's, just a silly fear of spiders. Do I really need to go to therapy or go to treatment? But I really think if it's something that's impacting you experiencing your joy or doing things that you love, then yeah, absolutely. I think it can be a really helpful tool to be able to live your life and have your joy.
Celia, I think I have another takeaway to add.
All right, shoot, let's hear it.
So the people that we have been interviewing about getting over their phobias, I feel like they have something in common, and that is that they were feeling really ready to challenge their notions about whatever animal scares them. It's like wanting to work on your fear is an important part of the equation too.
Absolutely, feeling motivated.
Another person we talked to was Cameron Seifert of McLouth, Kansas. He grew up in an old farmhouse with lots of spiders, really scared him. Fast forward to today, and he is totally cool with them. He even became the guy at work who everyone calls if a big spider wanders into the manufacturing plant.
That's like a really impressive turnaround.
And you always need one of those guys. And
Yes.
so he will actually catch them in a jar and like take them outside.
And what's cool about Cameron is actually like the reason he decided to tackle this fear.
He grew up adoring snakes.
I just couldn't even wrap my head around how snakes might scare or bother somebody.
But people would tell him that they hate snakes and they kill snakes, and that obviously really upset him.
Yeah.
One guy even threatened to kill his pet snake.
I'm like, dude, that's my pet, you know?
For Cameron, it was like people are being irrational and they're hurting harmless animals. So he tried to convince lots of people to think differently.
There's no reason to hurt that black rat snake. He's doing you a ton of good by just existing in your barn, right? Just leave him alone. He'll leave you alone.
But then there came a point where he was like, wait a sec.
Here I am laying into this guy about his irrational fear of this animal that I didn't think posed any threat to him. I'd been doing the same thing for my entire life about spiders.
Yeah, and he was pretty seriously scared of spiders.
I would still occasionally, like well up into my 30s, at the middle of the night, wake up and shoot out of the bed because I had a dream about a spider in the sheets.
Once a large wolf spider got into the house and he almost got his gun.
Fire a gun at this wolf spider running around the back room.
He knows that's a terrible idea, but his point is, this is the intensity of the fear he used to experience. And thankfully his cat pounced on the spider and killed it, so indoor gun situation avoided. So Cameron eventually tackled his fear. He started small, learning to tolerate little spiders and even appreciate some, like fuzzy jumping spiders.
If I found one of those, maybe I'd give it a little drink, right? Dip a cotton swab in some water and then hold it up to them, and then they sip off of it. It's adorable.
Mac, when I first heard that Cameron does this, like giving spiders a drink, I had to know what this looks like. So I Googled, check out this video that I found.
Wait, so this is something that people actually do?
This is something people do.
It looks like it has googly eyes. Like its eyes, are those its real eyes?
Did I not tell you? It is like an 8-legged teddy bear with ginormous eyes.
It's kind of like cuddling with the cotton swab.
The cotton swab is its teddy bear. Okay, we will link to this video because it's really kind of cool to see.
Yes, and you know, Cameron is not the only person who's doing this. Other people that our intern Seth spoke to said the same thing. Like, they're trying to embrace the cute side of these animals that they find scary. Tay Stark and Lawrence used to be terrified of snakes, but they're doing so much better now, in part because they've adopted these funny nicknames for snakes.
People have, like, on the internet say, like, danger noodle or nope rope. That's been helpful to, like, get some humor out of it and be like, okay, this is a animal that I don't have to, like, necessarily be afraid of, and it is just living its life. I'm just a noodle looking for its dinner.
I love that. It's just a wiggly noodle looking for its dinner.
And Tay used to be terrified of snakes, but one day they were sitting in the yard and they saw this garter snake pop up its head out of a hole, and
I was like, okay, don't freak out. It's a tiny snake. I thought it was so adorable. Just like the top 2 inches of the snake popped out of this hole and like saw me there. The snake kind of like moved its body like it was like a blade of grass swaying in the wind. And I was thinking, like, does it think that I think that it could be a plant? And is like trying to be like, you don't see me because I'm a plant. It was kind of wiggling like that. And I was like, this is a very strange and exciting moment for me right now that I'm like experiencing with this tiny snake.
Tay calls it an epiphany. Now the snakes in the yard all get names like Stanley or Sebastian.
I like Stanley the snake. I love the reframing from fear of this animal into like curiosity about this animal. What is this animal doing? What's it thinking? And how cool that Tay got this moment watching it.
Yeah. I think it is really easy to find yourself limiting your life as you get older because of things that make you uncomfortable. I feel that especially with the outdoors, and that is such a shame because there's so much beauty and adventure to be found, And ideally, you'd be able to sort of work on this stuff so that it doesn't completely hold you back. Because I will admit, everything I am afraid of is indeed very unlikely to hurt me.
Right? So it's like, why are we scared? But the reality is, phobias, they're really common. So if a phobia is holding you back, the main thing is finding what works for you. Like maybe that's going to be learning the calming techniques or going to a therapist.
Or joining a Facebook group of people who can help you see the positive and cute side of the animal stressing you out.
Yeah, I love that approach. And honestly, it comes down to if we can be out there hiking, gardening, exploring without fretting every time a critter wanders by, then great. Less stress, more fun.
Well said.
Some creatures pose real risks to us in the outdoors, even if that daddy longlegs doesn't. One that stresses a lot of us nowadays is ticks. Alpha-gal, Lyme disease, ugh. Next episode, we'll talk about why ticks seem worse than in the past and how to protect yourself. Send us your questions about ticks as an email or a voice memo to celia@kcur.org. Up From Dust is a production of KCUR Studios and Harvest Public Media. This episode was reported by me, Celia Llopis-Jepsen, and KCUR Studios intern Seth Jahraus. Seth also mixed the episode. My co-host today was editor Mackenzie Martin. Additional editing by Shahla Farzan. Music provided by David Condos, Tom Lonnie, Milktooth, and Blue Dot Sessions. Till next time, thanks for sharing your time with us.